So yeah, should we just go into the next episode then?
Yeah.
I have no idea how I'm gonna cut these up because these reach like like and I'll think about it. But yeah, so kids are like, oh no, like the Phoenix is too powerful, we can't beat him. He's like wrecking their Digimon stuff. And then a Zulongmon just kind of appears.
Yeah, who is apparently on the kid's side.
Yeah,
So it's
apparently.
so it's kind of weird that he didn't show up earlier to help.
Okay, so like, I'm trying to think of how I want to like really go through this because I guess I'd just like explain everything that like we learned from this, just like in rapid fire succession. Cause it's like we learned the Zulongmon is the one who sent Calamon to the human world and like turned into. No, he sent Calamon to the human world, and they're like, oh, but like, why did that happen? What's up with that? And like, the Phoenix is like, oh, it's cause we can't have our true enemy get the light of evolution. We must keep it here and have it like safe and stuff. And they're like, but what's the true enemy? And they're like, well, before we get into that, you guys need to know that Calamon used to just be like a force that existed, and then the Diginomes turned into a Digimon. And it's like,
Yeah, I was gonna say Shenlongmon actually says that he at first he claims that yes, it was him who who created Calamon and sent him away, and then later he's like, oh, I didn't do it, and it's like, wait, what?
yeah, the Diginomes made Calamon. I guess he made the force that is Calamon, and the Diginomes made it real.
I guess.
Well, real is in like a Digimon, not as in like, yeah.
Yeah. It's just weird that he contradicts himself like that.
But yeah, so it's like, honestly, it would probably make a lot more sense if a Zulongmon was just like, oh yeah, I made Calma Digimon to hide it or something. Like, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but that does feel like it'd be way more logical here.
Yeah.
But yeah, then
Oh yeah.
Shibubi or whatever just appears in his ghost form, and he's like, oh yeah, like the Diginomes made Calamon and stuff. Also, like the true enemy. That I wonder what that could be. Oh wait, could it be that D Reaper thing we've made?
Yeah. So so yeah, we see that he's hooked up to like some machines, and it's like, okay, that's how he's in the digital world, but not entirely. It's like he's like sent his mental data, like he's turned his thoughts into data or something.
Yeah, like his mind's in the digital world. You see, like his real body. It's like muttering stuff in his sleep, basically. Like it's
Yeah,
just passed out on like a couch somewhere or on like a hospital bed, I guess. So yeah, there was
yeah,
like, oh, it must be a D Reaper thing, and they're like, wait, what's that? And he's like, oh, I created like a program to like eat data, but it shouldn't have done any of this. And they're like, no, it evolved. And he's like, it evolved. And he wakes up and he's like, what? And he's like, oh fuck, I can't go back to the digital world now.
yeah. So so yeah, he explains that he explains that they created a program, and its initial purpose was to just delete junk data, basically.
Yeah, that's from what I understand at least.
Yeah. So, but it slipped its way into the. Oh wait, it didn't slip its way into the digital world. They put it there. But its intention was not to like delete random Digimon and whatnot. It was just to erase junk. And then it evolved.
So, like, what exactly do they mean by, like, junk data is what I'm not quite understanding.
Just those like the impression I get is like those tumbleweeds.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Just,
Like, bits of dust data or just random packets about there just cluttering up the system. Like, I don't know, maybe in, like, Digimon that are just older and, like, already dying or something. I don't know, man. But it's like,
yeah.
I guess, like, that is kind of the impression that I, like, got first, though, is like, oh, like, maybe this is in case, like, the Digimon just keep, like, spreading to, like, keep them from, like, overpopulating or something weird like that, maybe.
Yeah. And it's the oh geez, what was I even? Nope, I lost it. I don't even. I'm stupid. I don't remember what I was trying to say.
It was probably out the D Reaper.
Probably, but I've just lost it entirely. Um, but yeah, it wasn't meant as a malicious thing, but it grew to be malicious.
Yeah, like, it's not even, like, I don't even think it's, like, right to say it's, like, malicious. It's just following its programming.
Yeah, but it like spiraled out of control.
Yeah,
Is the
oh yeah,
problem.
it's definitely out of control, because, like, it evolved up, it seems like, oh, it's just, like, it's changed its parameters of what's, like, junk data to, like, be more efficient or whatever.
Yeah, and so it's just erasing Digimon.
Yeah, it's just, like, erasing Digimon stuff. And it seems to be after Calamon specifically.
It's after Calamon because it knows Calamon can make it evolve.
Okay, interesting. That actually wasn't clear at all. Cause
That's what I got out of it.
yeah, cause like it's this weird thing where it's like they probably will expand. Well, actually, I know they expand on us later on, but like for right now, it's like fairly vague what's like actually the deal is. Cause all I know is like, oh, there's this weird like glowing like pinkish red goo. And it just forms these like goo bubbles and just spreads out and like it destroys anything it touches. And it like seems to possess sentience and like the ability to like think and stuff to some extent.
Yeah, that said, they say that they don't even know what it's called because it won't communicate with them.
Yeah, because like why would it? And like I know there's at least one scene later on where it does get the ability to communicate. And it's gonna be super interesting to get to that scene because I like saw that clip and it's fascinating. But
Yeah,
yeah, cause
I think what I wanted to say is that at first it wasn't just erasing things out of nowhere. Early, it seems to erase things when the data gets too big
yeah,
because uh what are not the devas, the sovereign Digimon are like, yeah, we hit mega level and then it woke up.
yeah. So that seems to be what's like spurring on, because like what I'm guessing is probably happening is that it's like, it's like made to kind of keep the data packets from like becoming too big and like flooding the system or whatever. So it's like it's just destroying stuff when it senses that like the file sizes get too big. It's like it just sees the hard drive and it's like, oh yeah, we've passed a threshold on this computer, better start deleting things, right?
Yeah.
Like that's how I understand it at least. But yeah,
Well,
narratively it's like essentially it's just like, oh, this thing attacks when Digimon evolve basically, cause like it's trying to delete things. So we had to like hide Calamon to like, keep it from getting to him. But also we have like an ideological difference on how to do that. And that's where this conflict is coming from.
yeah, the Phoenix Digimon is like, well, I don't care. The evolution with with like the humans is wrong.
Yeah, he's straight up like, oh, this like Calamon belongs like here with us Digimon. Cause like, we're like strong and we're like special and da-da-da-da. And Zulongmon's like, no, we gotta take this thing and move it as far away as possible. Yeah, like,
yeah, the Phoenix Digimon's like, well, if we just get strong enough, we can just beat it.
yeah. Also, like, Gallantmon just, like, finally evolves up to, like, fight the Phoenix Digimon for a bit. It really doesn't matter.
Yeah, yeah, and he's actually, like, doing pretty well.
Yeah.
Although he doesn't beat him down as hard as Mega Gargamon does.
Yeah. Like, I assume maybe it's because, like, Mega Gargamon's whole thing is he is like, just unloads everything at once.
Yeah.
So maybe that's why he's more effective, because it's more like burst damage. But yeah, so they fight him for a bit and like they have more exposition. And like Shibumi just disappears. Everyone's like, what the crap?
Yeah, and the answer is he woke up.
Yeah. And they're like, okay, essentially it's like, no, wait, before we like move on, there's like another thing, because it cuts over to like, effing like, what's his face? The Poochie. Rio,
Rio.
yeah, that was his name. Yeah, Ryu. But yeah, Ryu just shows up like in a different area. He's like, "Oh hey, what's going on, Cyberdramon? Is there something over there?" And he's like, "Oh, the enemy did it." It's like implied maybe Cyberdramon is trying to like kill the D Reaper. Like maybe that's his true enemy.
Seems like his enemy might be the D Reaper. If not the D Reaper, then maybe he was sensing Baihumon.
Maybe.
Because Baihumon is he's fighting the D Reaper actually, and then he comes back up from the pit and like collapses, and it's like, oh yeah, he was down there fighting it, and it took all of his energy, and Cyberdramon's just like, all right, well, it's gone now. And then they leave.
Yeah, then they just go. But yeah, we do see Baihumon, and we see, like, the turtle one, which is like... the crap is this thing's name again? Well, crap, I moved off the page.
I don't remember, but yeah, that was the one that was easy to pronounce.
Come on.
I think it was the easy to pronounce one. Had a W in it, I think.
It was like... what was it? Eben Wumon. Yeah, that was it. Yeah, it's like I feel like it's pretty forgivable that we can't remember these names because it's like, oh, it's like Eben Wumon and Juquiamon and stuff. And it's like words that are very unfamiliar to me.
My area of quote unquote expertise is knowing how to pronounce Japanese names.
Quote unquote expertise.
Yeah. In that, I know how, if you put a Japanese word in front of me, I'll know how to pronounce it.
Wait, what? Apparently, like, all these guys had, like, control over different devas. Because there's, like, on the wiki, there's a list of subordinates, and each one has, like, 3 of them. But, like, for Tamers, it seems like the Phoenix one was just commanding all of them at once. Like, they're just his followers.
Yeah, I saw that on the wiki. I think it said, like, Pajuramon and Vajramon were under his command.
No, Pajuramon and Vajramon are under the command of, like, different devas. Oh. Which makes no sense at all. Because, like, Eben Wumon has Vajramon, and, like, Juquiamon has Pajuramon.
Huh.
And, like, Azulongmon has Antilamon. Which is definitely not right.
So, yeah, that would mean the Phoenix had no right to take away Lotmon's Deva status.
If this is like wiki entry is like accurate at least. It
Yeah.
might be accurate to a different continuity. But yeah, like, cause was Mihiramon? Was he like the dog?
Ugh.
Cause if so, he's like under a Zulongmon and not like the bird who was telling him what to do.
It doesn't matter ultimately.
Liz, no, Mihiramon was the tiger. As the bird was like commanding the Davis and being like, "Oh, you humans suck," and da da da.
The dog is Chetsuramon.
The dog is Chetsuramon. Okay.
Yeah, I just remembered his name.
Alright, so who actually has Chetsuramon then? Let me just look this up real quick, because it's like... Oh, that's Bihumon. I guess that does kind of weirdly make more sense. But yeah, like, I feel like people get the point.
Yeah. Ultimately, it doesn't matter because they were all antagonistic.
Yeah. Like, ultimately, wiki page is probably not referring to this continuity. Yeah, then there's like... effing... What else happens this episode? Is it just like we get explained what the D Reaper is and stuff?
Pretty much. Rio meets up with the other sovereign, and they learn about the D Reaper, and that's pretty much all that happens.
Yeah, okay. And like episode 39's like Rika's quote unquote episode.
Takato tries to help Jerry feel better and doesn't do well at it.
Yeah. Yeah, because Jerry's just sitting there like, is this really fate and stuff like that. And she's like, I guess there's nothing I can do about it. And it's like, yeah. Yeah, that's kind of a problem. But yeah, this episode, we finally get a good look at more of the crap the D Reaper is.
It's Jello.
It's Jello. The true enemy is the Jello, guys. You can't stop the power of the punch. I also do like that, like, like, it seems like a very conscious, like, decision to make it CG. Because, like, you look at these bubbles and they actively look out of place with the rest of the series.
Yeah.
I feel like that was, like, stupidly deliberate on, like, the creator's part and stuff.
Even if it was unintended and they just did it because making, like a weird Jello mold thing out of 3D was easy, like, it works to its advantage because it looks weird.
Yeah. Because, boy, is this thing effing weird. But yeah, the D Reaper's just like... First off, like, yeah, big thing of this episode's like, Calamon's crawling out of the crater that they had him in. Like, they have him in a lantern, and he crawled out of the lantern, and now he's, like, climbing up to the surface.
Yeah, I think that's most of the beginning of the episode is Calamon trying to climb out.
Yeah, and, like, the D Reaper's, like, already following him. So if effing, like, the Phoenix had his way, Calamon would already be gone. Like, that lantern did nothing.
Yeah, it's, not great. Although, fortunately for Calumon, it's probably in its best interest not to kill it.
So I have a question. Can't Calamon, like, fly or something?
I thought so.
Because does he, like, extend his ears out and can, like, float around or whatever? Isn't that, like, a thing that happens?
Maybe?
Because, like, if Calamon can fly, that doesn't make a lot of sense why he'd be, like, like, physically climbing up and stumbling on these rocks and stuff and nearly falling back down multiple times.
Yeah. As far as like going down the crater is concerned, why didn't it would have been way easier if Rika had Renamon Digivolve and she just rode Cubimon.
I guess. Honestly,
Well,
easiest
because
way would probably be to, like, just digivolve into, like, Talmon and have Talmon, like, float her down.
sure, but I'm saying like anything's better than clumsy human Rika trying to climb down these rocks.
Yeah. But yeah, that's the basic crux of this episode. It's like, oh, Calmon needs to escape and the D Reaper's coming, so we gotta send everyone down to, like, go help Calamon. And, like, they could have just flown down on, like, effing Cyberdramon, I guess, but they really don't.
Yeah, Rika still continues to hate Rio.
Yeah. It's like not really clarified, like, if it's like a crush or not, but she does seem to, like, really, like, not get along with him that well. And that kind of
She
changes by the end of this.
she seems to have chilled out a little bit since they last met.
Yeah. But yeah, like, essentially it's like, I guess there's no point really dancing around it, that, like, Rika finally gets her Mega Evolution. So it's
Yeah.
like they're trying to, like, stop the D Reaper, and, like, Rio has, like, this big plan to, like, stop it with a bunch of rocks by causing a cave in, basically. And the D Reaper starts getting out anyways. So, like, Talma evolves up into, like, Sakuyamon. And, like, a really, like. So I want to choose my words really carefully here. It's a cool looking evolution sequence. It is still very weird that the kids are naked.
Yeah, but Rika's heavily censored.
I
Like like the glowing beam of light is like crazy.
she's
They're just like we're not showing any of this. No way.
she's pretty censored. There are some shots where you can very clearly see the nipples.
If you say so, I wasn't paying enough attention.
Cause like I would be like very like like what's the right term? I would be very diplomatic with how I like phrase it. Cause of course I'm
Yeah.
not like actively like, oh, like did it duh. But it's like, yeah, it's just watch it, it's like, yep, and yeah, that's a thing.
Yeah.
It's like the English localization censored this a bit harder than the Japanese one did. I'll just say that much.
Yeah, definitely.
Just good job, localization crew. You did it. Yeah, outside of that, like, the Sakuyamon evolution looks amazing.
Hey, guess what? Renamon's evolution still looked the best out of the three.
Yeah, like, it looks, like, stupidly good. And, like, I kind of want to, like, just show it for the thing while I, like, upload this episode, but at the same time, I'm gonna have to be stupidly careful in how I edit it.
Just find the dub version.
Honestly, yeah, well, no, because the dub version wouldn't have the music, though, and the music's so good.
True.
Because it's like, she's like, just kind of, like, transforming, and you're like, you see the character go over the Digimon stuff, and you see, like, Sakuyamon without the armor, like, standing over a lake, and, like, you can see, like, Romons and, like, the ripples in the pond, like, as her reflection, and you see, like, the pieces of armor just, like, forming and stuff, and it's so cool, though. It's such, like, a cool visual.
Yeah, it's the only one that's like fully hand animated, and it looks like it.
Yeah. Like, it weirdly looks, like, too good for the show in, like, a sense, you know? Like,
Yeah, that's how I feel about the Talmon evolution. It's like this looks way better than any of the other ones.
because the Talmon
Feels like
evolution's great, but this feels like a weird step up. It's kinda nuts.
yeah,
And, like, honestly, like, pretty well deserved, actually. Sakuyamon's a cool Digimon.
yeah,
Like, I honestly do like the design a lot, and I really like dig how it's like, oh, we're like, like, it kind of feels like, sort of what you want, like, Gallantmon to be, where it's like, oh, the armor's, like, actively, like, reminiscent of, like, the previous forms.
Yeah, because it looks like it's all like fox themed.
Yeah. And it's like, you translate that yellow fur into gold, and it looks awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. I also really like the max of this too, because it's like, Rika's whole thing just so far has always been like, oh, Digimon are like, they're all about fighting, and after like, after it's stronger and more powerful and stuff like that, and it's always been that thing of like, oh, Rika just wants like power. She wants to be like, more offensive, more dangerous. And you get to Talmon, and it's like, Talmon's still strong, but it's got that barrier. It's got that little, like, bubble it forms around itself. And that's really what Talmon gets the most mileage out of, because it's just so effective.
Yeah, Talmon's the support.
Yeah. And you
Talmon's the
get
support mage.
Yeah, and you get to Sakuyamon, and it's like, oh, like, Rika's big ultimate, like, super moment is that it's like, she's not just gonna, like, shoot a big beam down and, like, just, like, blast the D-Reaper away. It's like, oh, you have to, like, use this weird magic and, like, conduct it and stuff, and, like, like, take it out in this weird passive defensive way almost for, like, you're kind of like pacifying it almost, right?
Yeah.
Because she's like, she's like swinging her staff. It's like controlling the flow of like the liquid and all this weird stuff. And it's just super cool.
It's all regal and stuff, and like proper and everything, and graceful. I think is the word I'm looking for.
Yeah,
because
it's very graceful,
like a priestess.
Yeah, it's very graceful and like non-violent feeling,
Pretty sure with like the staff.
Yeah. It's like, Rika's big thing isn't that she gets a big super attack, it's like, oh, you get, like, more utility, you get more, like, support and stuff. And it's like, sort of, like, visually showing the development from, like, back when she was known as, like, the Digimon Queen, because she would, like, play hyper-aggressive in, like, the cards and stuff. So it's like, yeah, really dig that a lot, honestly. And, like, you just kind of, like, take care of the D-Reaper, and she just, like, takes, like, effing Rio and the R's out of the pit, and, like, yeah, it's another thing, because, like, even she's, like, using the ability, it's, like, the others are, like, constantly, like, shouting and, like, doing motions and stuff inside, and, like, cuts to Rika's, and it's, like, she's, like, sitting down kind of, like, praying or whatever. Yeah, it's really weird and interesting. Are you there, man?
Yeah, what was the last thing I said?
I know you cut out a bit as I was just talking about, like, the max symbolism and stuff.
Yeah, I don't know, I just lost,
Lost connection.
I guess. But yeah, yeah, whatever. You probably said whatever I was thinking.
Yeah, I was just talking about, it's like, oh, it's like a defensive, like, ability, and she's like, it's like activated through, like, just sitting down, like, praying in this super traditional way and stuff, and how, like, interesting it was.
Yeah.
But yeah, so she, like, just kind of gets everyone, like, out of the pit and, like, saves Calamon and stuff. And Rio's just like, oh, wow, you're, like, really cool and stuff, Rika. And she's like, you bet I am. There's, like, there's a weird detail in this where it's, like, for some reason, Rika's, like, tying her hair back up. So I guess when you, like, go into your Digimon form, like, it actually gets rid of your hair scrunchie.
I guess. It's weird because it didn't seem to have any kind of effect like that on the guys.
Yeah, because it's like...
I guess it did take Rika's hair down. Like, she did have her hair down when she was, like, bio-merged.
Like, I'm pretty sure that it's like, oh, when you see the kids and they appear naked inside the Digimon or whatever, that's like, that's not like 100% literal or whatever. Like, Takalo's not going out Galmon and then being like, oh hey, does someone have a spare pair of pants?
Yeah, I gotta throw my clothes back on.
Yeah. Like, and I'm just hoping, well, I shouldn't even, like, say anything. Just, you know what I mean by that, right?
Sorry, by what?
Just, like, whatever, it doesn't matter. I'm just trying to, like, word this stuff super carefully. So it's like, people don't just, like, just tune in or whatever. It's just like, oh, hey, that kid's missing pants. Or just something weird. I know, man.
I mean, it's no weirder than, like, typical magical girl transformation scenes.
I guess it's just weirder because it's like, oh, you're seeing them, like, in that state, like, while action is happening. And it's, no, it's odd. It's like, I feel like, it's like, it would be very easily for me to say stuff about this, like, very carelessly, and for someone to, like, take it in a very awkward direction.
I think you're worried too much.
I really am. I do not want this to be, like, taken out of context in the wrong way. Because it's like, of course I'll, like, point out observations of, like, weird crap that's happening and, like, weird, like, details and stuff, but I don't want it to come off as, like, a weird, awkward way or anything. I don't know, I'm being, like, way too diplomatic with this, I guess.
I mean, it's just how the show is.
Yeah, it is what it is.
It's like you're making it weird.
I'm making it super weird right now. I'm making it weird to avoid being weird. Because it is weird. So if you get to the TCG, heck, you know it, man. We were, like, talking all about those new Diaboromon cards at the start of the stream.
He was.
I was. Lucky was just listing, like, oh, I guess, like, Omnimon's dead or whatever.
I'm not crazy into the card game.
Oh, man. Man, I just really dig that new Crusadermon sub so much. It's so cool. It's so cool, though. But yeah, so that's pretty much the end of the episode, isn't it? Like, they just gather the prayer with Calamon, and it's like, oh yeah, let's go back to the real world and stuff.
Yeah, pretty much.
Man, so, like, I guess, do we have any last thoughts or anything? Because I kinda hate to, like, end this Raz Ramen Rara shows up, but, like, is there ain't much else to really get into?
I mean, not really. Like, it's unfortunate timing and everything, but that's just how it goes sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes just how it go. At least there's, like, the, like, effing VOD and stuff.
Yeah, hey, if you care about listening to our thoughts on Digimon Tamers and future series, we usually do these on Wednesdays.
Yep. We also have, like, a YouTube channel where we, like, upload, like, all of these, and, yeah, I actually did check something real quick, because I'm curious. Because, like, we put up the episode for the last, like, Kizuna Evolution, or Kizuna the Last or something, and I'm actually super curious how well that's been doing. Because last I checked, it was actually doing weirdly well. Well, I guess not weirdly well, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Let me just check real quick. Effing, like, was it at right now? Because last I checked, it was like 30-some views or whatever. YouTube Studio loading up real quick. It's gonna, like, just gonna hit content. We'll see where this is at. Okay, how far is Padron? Yeah, it's at, like, 84 views right now. So yeah, if you just go watch the, like, last Evolution episode, that'd be amazing. Like, if I just get that to go super big, maybe I'd, like, get stuff to actually start going a bit more viral.
Yeah, we've covered we've covered all the series and movies up to Tamers at this point.
Yeah. Getting there, yeah. Man,
I
I
think we
genuinely wonder, like, I'm super curious, like, how many people are, like, looking up our, like, last evolution video just because they're trying to find the full movie, and it's, like, fairly long.
I don't know. Um, we did a thing on like the first 3 episodes of the 2020 reboot, didn't we?
Yeah, we did, and we haven't really, like, gone back to it since then.
Well, I think we decided we weren't going to do that series.
Alright, yep, that actually kinda explains it. Average view duration's like 3 minutes on, like, the Kazuna video.
Um, but yeah, I think we decided we weren't gonna do 2020 like we were doing these.
Yeah. Cause, like,
But
it'd just be, just so little to really go through, right?
we just be comparing it to the original series the whole time. I feel.
Yeah. Which would be interesting, but, like, and may not like the way that would, like, provoke a lot of discussion.
Yeah, I can give my general thought on 2020 is I like it. Good.
Yeah. My thoughts are probably going way more. I just need to, like, just marathon a bunch of 2020 and we'll just come back and it'll be like, oh, 2020 part 2, like, episodes 4 through, like, 10 or something, 4 through 12. And it'll just be like, oh, hey, I watched a bunch of the series and here's what I think about this stuff.
I guess it wouldn't be so bad to do them in like big batches because
Yeah.
a bunch of the episodes up to a certain point are this kid gets their evolution and then the next kid gets their evolution and so on and so forth.
Yeah, like, not as much like, oh, we have to go for, like, like, each episode point by point as much as just, like, overall just the tone of it or whatever, I guess.
Yeah.
Can't wait for
Also,
Survive. Yeah, Survive's
Yeah.
gonna be interesting.
I just, wish it would come out.
Yeah. COVID really screwed up a lot of stuff really hard, didn't it?
Yeah, but I feel like Survive was already in development for a really long time.
Yeah, oh boy. But yeah, like, we're doing this, there's also, like, effing, like, Tales of Berseria been going off in a direction, like, FF14's a thing. We're doing, like, D&D or off to the side every other week, so stuff's in the fire. So yeah, I guess is all we really want to say.
Eh.
Yeah, links in the, like, bomb and did. YouTube should be easy to find, and I guess that's it. Later, I guess.